What's up, everybody? This is Cheap Ass Statue Collector here, and today I wanted to go ahead and show you guys my Ikea Pax custom display unit. What's custom about it is I added acrylic glass and I reinforced the shelves and added my own custom lighting. Here's a shot of it in mid-build. This is the 78 by 79 by 22 inches deep shelf, so it's a real big one. I also picked up the frame and rails from Ikea. It doesn't come with any panels, it's just the frame and the rails. I also picked up 4 of the shelving units, and I also picked up 4 of the cloth rails to go with it. And I'll explain a little bit more about those later on in the video, what I'm doing with those. I also needed to get 2 custom cut acrylic clear sheets. And then for the lighting, I also had to pick up assortment of things from the internet. I purchased almost everything from eBay because everything is super cheap. Everything was shipped over for me from China. One of the first things that I needed was more cable, copper cable for the lighting. I also needed the actual lighting itself. I had 2 rolls of LED white lights, a connector to connect the wires and the lights together, tape to tape the wires, and sticky tape to tape everything else up. A pair of scissors, real sharp scissors, and the AC adapter for the wall or for your lights, and the little adapter that goes to the AC power and from the speaker. And I also had to pick up the metal frames that the lights sit in. So my next picture is going to be a picture of the rails that I use for support. Basically, this is what the color looked like. I got some black matte spray paint and I sprayed it, and this is what it looks like. And basically this secures my shelf. The shelves themselves are 39 inches long, 22 inches deep, so they will bow by themselves without putting anything on them. Eventually they will bow themselves because of the weight of the shelf itself. So I went ahead and took that and put that underneath the shelf, in the middle of the shelf, and bolted it to each side of the walls, and went ahead and reinforced it, and I have no saggy now, and I could put a lot more weight onto my display shelves. And the picture that I'm showing you right now is what it looks like when I'm sitting on my couch playing a video game, and with the lights on, with the LED lights on, and the statues inside it. That's what it looks like with that bar in there, so it's very minimal, very minimal. So the idea was to get 4 rows of statues to fit in this PAX shelving unit. After installing the shelving units and trying to fit the statues in, it kind of looked very tight. It didn't look really that good. So I decided to go with just 3 rows. So I just needed to purchase 4 shelves in total, and measure out what each shelf I wanted to be in distance and height. So there's what I ended up going with. Now, the thing that I was most worried about was ordering the acrylic sheets and getting them right, and getting the right sheets that I needed for these sliding glass doors. What I ended up ordering was 2 acrylic sheets, 39 3/8 by 76 and 11/16. I also went with a thicker acrylic because I didn't want any waves in these sheets, because these sheets are really huge, they're really tall, and they came out fantastic. I couldn't be happier with them. They're extremely see-through. They are a little bit reflective when you have other lights on, but I'm really happy with their overall look of the display unit with these doors and these acrylic sheets on them. Now, the hardest thing about this whole project was doing the lighting. I had to order so many parts. I had to order the frames, the metal frames that I had to paint black as well for the LED lights to sit in, and I also had to wire the wires through these frames, and to make it as least noticeable as possible. Now, this is the diagram of my lighting setup. The red is the red wires, the blue lines are the actual frames that the LED lights sit in. And this is a picture of what it looks like with the wires going down, And these are also other pictures of the frames themselves and the lights, LED lights that are sitting inside of them. And basically what I did is I put the LED strip on the outside of the frames where they sat in, and there was a little hole in the corner. I was able to send that wire through the corner and through the inside of the frame out the other way. And this way I was able to hide a lot of the LED strips or the LED copper wire and send everything back to the middle and down. And it was very successful. This is a picture of what it looks like. You don't notice the wires at all from any angle except for when you get all the way to the side and look at it from the side. So after building the shelving unit and setting up the lights, we're not done. Now comes the fun part. Displaying your statues the way you want to display them. I have a lot of close to 1/6 size versus statues, and I wanted to go ahead and utilize the depth that these shelves give you. And I didn't want to go ahead and purchase like half shelves, because then you gotta basically set them down and you have a set amount of space that you can use. So I wanted to go ahead and use hard styrofoam that is shock absorbent and very strong and super light to make custom stands for each base of each statue that I wanted to put up higher and put to the back. So what I did is I cut my pieces of styrofoam that I wanted to use for each statue, and I went ahead and got some silk cloth, black silk cloth from Michaels, and I cut that up and took all the wrinkles out, and I laid it down on top of the styrofoam so you can't see it, and then the effect looks super awesome. I couldn't be happier with this. I'm still rearranging 95% of all the statues in this display cabinet to look like this. There's one section that I want to go ahead and show you guys. This is my little treat for you guys that I'm not going to touch. It's basically finished, and it's the favorite part of my collection right now. Okay guys, so here it is. This is the DC versus Direct Line statues that I consider the Justice League must-haves if you're going to collect something like this. There are other versus statues with Batman and Superman, but these are like the official Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman versus DC Direct statues. So I wanted to go ahead and pair these up together. I think they look awesome together, and I think the way that I arrange them looks really good as well. And you know, putting Flash kind of in the middle, already finished with his fight, you know, just kind of shows how fast he actually is. But as you can see, I put everyone else on the stand besides the Flash, and I went ahead and put the silk, one giant silk piece over everybody else's styrofoam pieces, and I think it looks phenomenal. I want to do this with the rest of my pieces and shelves. This was very very cheap and easy to do, and I think it looks phenomenal with this type of display that you're trying to display. And with the Pax shelves being so deep and wide, I'm able to pull this off, and everything will be changing. We'll be doing a room tour to show everything else. I'll be adding statues, but this is kind of what it looks like, and I'm extremely happy with this, you guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and sub. Peace.